You may have heard that using heavier weights with fewer reps builds larger muscles, while using lighter weights with higher reps tones your muscles instead? Simplified charts often illustrate this, suggesting that moderate to heavy loads promote greater muscle hypertrophy and strength, while lighter loads enhance muscular endurance with less impact on muscle size. So based on this, lifting heavier weights may appear the obvious route for muscle building. But is this truly the case? Let's look at the latest research to determine the best approach for muscle growth, and the results may surprise you. Also be sure to stick around as I will show you how to optimize your weight training program to maximize your muscle growth, so you can build your best body yet. So, let's start by quickly covering the research behind the study. Researchers gathered 18 male subjects to train their legs on the leg extension machine 3 times a week for 10 weeks. One group used 30% of their 1 reps max doing 30 to 40 reps, while the other group using 80% of their 1 reps max doing 10 to 12 reps. You would think the group lifting the heavier weights would build more muscle, right? But that wasn't the case, with the results seen in this graph, surprisingly showing nearly identical muscle growth between both groups. However, this finding received criticism, as it used untrained beginners who often grow muscle no matter how they train. So, in response, researchers performed a similar study, but this time used men with 4 years of lifting experience. They followed a similar protocol but used a full-body resistance training program instead. Surprisingly, once again the results showed that load did not dictate hypertrophy, meaning that both light weights and heavy weights contribute equal amounts to muscle growth. Enjoying the video? Please subscribe for more great fitness content. Further studies this year have all reached the same conclusion. Light weights and heavy weights lead to similar muscle growth when volume is equated for and sets are taken close to failure. So, based on this, it might seem as if lifting light weights is just as beneficial as heavy weights. However, there are a couple of things to consider. Firstly, when looking at strength, relevant studies show that the use of heavy weights performs better in terms of strength gains, which in the long run, would lead to better hypertrophy when compared to lighter weights. And secondly, these studies involved the subjects pushing to near failure regardless of the weight used. But training to failure in a higher reps range is a lot more uncomfortable than doing so with lower reps due to the increased metabolic stress. In fact, some of the subjects performing the light weights even ended up throwing up after their high rep sets.
I threw up many times while I was working out, but it doesn't matter, because it's all worth it.
So unless you possess the determination of Arnold Schwarzenegger, this approach might not be sustainable.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Now you're probably confused what to do with these findings, so let's look at how you can apply this to your workouts in order to maximize muscle growth. 2 of the main mechanisms of muscle growth are mechanical tension and metabolic stress. These 2 mechanisms are basically in a constant tug-of-war during your workout, meaning by doing more of one you get less of the other. When you lift heavier weights, you induce more mechanical tension, while when you lift lighter weights but for more reps, you can cause more metabolic stress. This is why lighter weights and heavier weights lead to similar muscle growth when volume is equated for, since they target separate mechanisms but lead to the same outcome of muscle growth. So, in order to maximize muscle growth, you should target both mechanisms in your workout. Since heavy loads are more beneficial for strength gains and mechanical tension and are easier to take close to failure, increasing strength on your heavy compound movements should be the foundation of your long-term training. But you should also consider utilizing higher reps with lower weights in your accessory movements after your heavier sets on compound movements are done, as this will enable you to take advantage of the multiple pathways involved with muscle hypertrophy. Some ways to achieve this are through the use of drop sets, reverse pyramid training, or also including a couple of sets of 25 to 40 reps to near failure towards the end of your workout. But let's take a look at a more in-depth example of how you can apply this to your workout. For example, let's say you're doing the following chest workout. The first 2 compound movements should utilize heavier weights for 6 to 10 reps, and a focus should be placed on getting stronger with these movements. This will cover the mechanical tension mechanism of muscle growth in this workout. And then, to cover the metabolic stress mechanism of muscle growth, you can add a few drop sets into your last set of the flat dumbbell press, and you can also utilize a higher reps range with low weight and go to near failure on the accessory movements. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like or leave a comment. Be sure to subscribe and I will see you next time.